as frightened as I was, and I was really, really scared. There's all sorts of memes when I'm ringing the bell. I do wish that I would have smiled or said something or looked a little more relaxed, but I wasn't feeling relaxed. Hello, Earthlings, I'm back. Let's just say this. The phrase welcome home has a whole new meaning to me. I'm officially back on planet Earth, and boy, am I glad to be here in one piece and all my body parts still work. Let me tell you, it was out of this world, literally. See what I did there? So I'm here and ready to answer all your questions about my time up there. I'm so glad to be here, you have no idea. So those of you who are wondering, I did not wear a diaper and I did not pee on myself. So let's go. Question number 1, what did you learn in training that you found most valuable in preparing you for the trip? A lot of people have asked this question, Kathy, so I'm glad that you asked it too. I have to say this, we had 3 days of training and I felt so well prepared. From the moment you get there, the Blue Origin team walks you through exactly what to expect. So we watched some films, we saw some past trips, and then they put you in the capsule. And it's not called a rehearsal, it's called a simulation. They did everything on this trip from beginning to end so you would know exactly what to expect. Now, of course, they don't shoot you up. You don't do that, and you can't rehearse or you can't simulate zero gravity. But they put you in the capsule and they tell you this is what it's going to sound like. They start up the engines. Communications control is talking to you. There is a countdown. And the most important thing is make sure you put your seatbelt on the right way. This was something that I really wanted to get right because you put it on, what did we call it? Waist, crotch, shoulder. So we were all going waist, crotch, shoulder. That was very important that you put it in and you put it in that order. They had little yellow strips on the seatbelts to make sure that you were putting it in the right way. That was very important. And there are different ways to get in your seat when you're on the ground and when you're in zero gravity. It is much more difficult to get back in that seat when you're in zero gravity. And I was very worried about that because I said, do you swim to your seat? No swimming allowed. You have a minute to do this when it's time to get back in your seat. I was most worried about getting that right. And when the time came, I forgot all the instructions. I just sort of dove into that seat like a moose and just started clicking stuff. And all I wanted to do was be in my seat on time. And then they said this, if you don't get back in your seat in time, what you're supposed to do is just lay on the floor face down. And I thought, I do not want to be that guy laying on the floor face down because I could not get in my seat. We're happy to say everybody got in their seat and we were all strapped in. And they also prepare you for the sounds that you're going to hear, which I think is crucial. And despite all the preparation, when you're sitting there for real, and they fire up, for instance, they said, when they say it's a go, and we're ready for launch. They said what you're going to see first are the flames shooting out from the booster, but don't be alarmed. And then the capsule's going to light up bright orange. Don't be alarmed, that's all normal. Sitting in a capsule that's bright orange, but don't be alarmed. But it was good to know that. What were you most excited about and scared about during this journey? I was most excited about going and taking off. What is it going to feel like? And I have to tell you, when I look at the video and see that booster going, I'm so blown away by that. I can't believe when I see that thing shoot up at the top of the capsule that I'm in seat number 5 and I am there. I was most excited about the liftoff. What was that going to feel like? Does it look like something in the movies? Does it sound like something in the movies? And I'm here to tell you, yes, it do. What was I most worried about? Not returning. Listen, I felt very prepared. I had great trust in Blue Origin after meeting with the team, and I know how much preparation has gone into this. I really was at peace with it. I really did feel that we were going to be okay. But you always know in the way back of your mind that it's inherently dangerous and something could happen. So I didn't focus on that. But I knew that I was all prayed up. I had great people offering great prayers to me that I felt really good about it. One of my favorites was the night before we did a Zoom. Aisha and I, who's from the Bahamas, first Bahamian to go into space, she had arranged a Zoom call with T.D. Jakes. I said, could I be on that Zoom call? And then she told me later, I was kind of hoping you would ask to join. Yes, I actually know him. I just talked to him the week before. So I was on the Zoom call. Now he knew that I was very, very nervous, and he said something that was very, very comforting to me. T.D. Jakes said, fear is in the car, but fear is not behind the wheel. Isn't that good? Thank you, TD Jakes. Then the morning of, Tyler Perry did a prayer. I reached out to him. He was in Italy. He was on vacation, but he set aside some time so he could pray with me. And let me tell you this, Tyler Perry's a very good prayer. So I felt really good. Plus, Oprah told me I was going to be all right, and she never lies, so I knew I was good. What was your very first thought when you found out you were going to space? Who did you tell first? And what was Oprah's reaction? How long were you actually up there, and did it feel fast or slow while it was happening? When I was first invited, let's put it that way, my first reaction is, no way, no way, no way, no how. Years ago, I saw William Shatner, who had gone up, I think he was 90-something at the time. When he returned, he was filled with such wonderment and awe that I thought, God, what does that feel like? I've never forgotten when he returned the things he was saying. And I knew that Blue Origin had wanted to send an all-female crew for a very long time. And I'd mentioned to Oprah, they want to put this all-female crew together. If you go, I would go, because I know you ain't going out like that. If you go, I would go. And she said, well, guess you'll never go, because no bleeping way will I ever do that, is what she said to me. So I thought, okay, well, I won't be going. I was very surprised when she said, I think you should do it. Well, if you won't do it, why do you think I should do it? She said, because you're the one that's going on and on about William Shatner and what it meant and wonder and awe. And I think that if you don't go, you would regret it. You'd be the one that said, I could have gone, and I said, I didn't. And I didn't want to hear you complaining for the next however many years. The second question, how long were you there? The flight was a little over 10 minutes. You go up and you come back down. And how did it feel? It felt very fast when we were taking off, tremendously fast and very, very loud. But I felt at peace from the moment we lifted off. When you're separated from the booster, that was a little daunting, because it does do this big boom. There are actually two of them. I knew it was coming, but there's something about being released from that booster and then you're just up there in space that you go, okay, here we are. So at times it felt very fast, and other times it felt very slow. And once you're released from the booster, you have 3 minutes of zero gravity. All of us said, we got to figure out a way to do the group picture. So we choreographed, you're going to stand here, I'm going to stand here, and then we're going to say this. And then after that, it's sort of choose your own adventure. Do you want to look out the window? Do you want to flip? Do you want to do somersaults? I had brought Tamir from Sesame Street. He's one of favorite grandson Luca's favorite little stuffed animals is Tamir. I brought Tamir. Lauren Sanchez had bought a character from her book, Flynn. Everybody, Katy Perry had bought a daisy. Everybody bought something. Aisha bought the Bahamian flag. Everybody had something. So we all wanted to interact with whatever our piece was. Then they give you the 1-minute warning that you have to get back in your seat. And I wanted to look out the window too. I didn't want to miss what was happening outside the window. If you notice, I never let go. I always held on to at least one thing. I kicked out my legs because I didn't want to somersault. I didn't want to float too far and not be able to get back in my seat. Plus, I was worried about the blood rushing to my brain and my head. So when they gave me that 1-minute warning, I immediately started making my way over to your seat. You're not supposed to swim, but you're supposed to hold on to one thing to the next to make it over to where you need to go. I did actually make it on time. I felt really good about that. How do you feel your life has changed since this experience? Well, my life has changed because I can't believe that I did it. I was very afraid, and I think I feel stronger. I certainly feel braver. I don't consider myself a brave person, but I feel really proud that as frightened as I was, and I was really, really scared. There's all sorts of memes when I'm ringing the bell. I do wish that I would have smiled or looked a little more relaxed, but I wasn't feeling relaxed. I was feeling very afraid. I was thinking, I want to get in my seat. I'll be curious to see what my GoPro footage looks like, because by the time you could turn it on and you're supposed to do something, I would turn it, it shuts off after a minute. So you had to keep touching. Then after a while, I just said, screw it. I don't have time to fuss with this. Did you feel any effects spiritually? You have to. A lot of you had questions about spirituality. You have to feel something when you're up there and you're looking at the planet. It's very dark and black, and you do see this bright neon blue line that you're looking at. It makes you feel really small, but it also makes you want to feel better, do better, and how we have to take better care of each other. There's so much nastiness and people are so mean these days. When you realize our time is really so limited. So can we all figure out a way to be kinder, be gentler, and be more understanding of each other? I just thought not many people get to do what I did. I know it's less than 100. I won't ever take that lightly. I thank you so much for your questions. I hope I covered everything that you were curious about. The astronauts are Sally Ride and Mae Jemison. I am not going to be arrogant or vain enough to think, now I am an astronaut. I know by definition that's what it says, but I realize who I am. I just hope my little leap into the unknown will inspire you to try something new and maybe something that's even a little scary. If you want to rewatch this, or better yet, send it to a friend who's been texting you nonstop about, what did Gayle say about space? You can share this whole conversation. It will be available on demand. And don't forget to follow Oprah Daily for more AMAs. We've always got something good coming up, because that's what we like to do around here. Bye, fellow Earthlings. See you in the cafeteria or on the street.